Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Paul with another Better Call Paul Live here for December 18th, 2017. Can hardly believe we are a week away from Christmas. I don't understand what happened to this year, but there you have it. It's gone. Well, almost gone. Not quite. So anyway, so here's where we have it. What did we launch last week? Well, we launched a bunch of different things last week. First thing we did was we launched It's a Breast Thing, celebrating their 10 years of being live, doing their event. Check that out. It was a video story we completed for them for their this past year in October, in which they celebrated 10 years. So check out their story there. And once again, we're continuing on with our homelessness stories, or how housing changed my life stories with the Michigan Coalition Against Homelessness. And this time around, we hear from Justin, who battled his mental illness to just basically, and how he battled that mental illness and used the resources that were available so that he could find housing as well. And lastly, we brought Jazz Friday back, and this time around we listened to the Dafnis Prieto Sextet, and they performed back and forth at this past year's Summer Solstice Jazz Festival that was held in East Lansing. You can go to our Facebook page to watch that, or you can go on YouTube and subscribe to the Summer Solstice Jazz Festival there. Also, speaking of subscribing, don't forget to subscribe to our two YouTube channels. Our #BetterCallPaul channel that does all the internal stuff that we produce internally for you, and then our UnoDeuce multimedia channel, which is our client work. So all the videos that we launch, that we talk about that were launched, are typically, except for the Jazz Friday, are on the UnoDeuce multimedia channel, and the videos that go to our blog as well, they usually go to our #BetterCallPaul channel. So speaking of on the blog, we talked last week on Better Call Paul Live. We talked about what we launched last week, as well as we answered the question of what our clients do with the videos that we give them. So check that out. Check out that answer on YouTube or on the blog. The next thing we did, we started a new live program with the business wrap starting this week, called Marketing Your Nonprofit, and this is the first part in which I talk about, which is myself, Cindy Kangas from the Capital Area Humane Society, and Todd Ross with the Michigan Osteopathic Association, talk about how to set your nonprofit apart. So therefore, there you go. So check that out. And then we have a guest post in which they posted about 5 things you need to let go of to start a business. So this is really, he really took the angle of more millennials going out into the business world and starting their own thing. However, for anybody to start a business or to go into business for themselves, there's some habits that you need to break, or you need to take note of and kind of handle before you really get into the nitty-gritty, or have your expectations dashed, because these are some of the things that could become obstacles in the future. And lastly, I launched the Second Brain Collective podcast again, which is this time around we talked to the Drinking Lunch founders, which of course is myself, Courtney Mackey from Glow Social Media, and Ash Harris of Akia Web Solution, the original founders, because Chris came in later on. And so just check that out. A nice little podcast talking about how the Drinking Lunch came about and what the overall purpose was for it. So check that out, all on the blog. Please go check out our blog, check out our website. I'm really pleased with how the website turned out. There are some tweaks here and there that we got to do, but that's what the beauty of it is that we can make those tweaks when we need to. So anyway, going on to the other channels that I'm involved with. Of course, I have my Ride Home Reviews. This week, I will be reviewing Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Been hearing mixed reviews on that. I'm excited to see it, and at the same time, like I was told, not to get my hopes up. So anyhow, so we'll check that out. So we'll watch for that coming out on Wednesday. And last week, I reviewed The Disaster Artist, which I thought was an excellent movie. A really well done performance by James Franco, but you can hear exactly what I have to say on that video if you subscribe to the YouTube channel for Ride Home Reviews. Link is in the notes here. Next, the Drinking Lunch posted about how to make your own business card in Word. A lot of folks want to design their own thing. I wouldn't recommend printing your own, however, because there's a lot of printing agencies that I know and a lot of printing agencies out there for you. But to design it, you don't have to download anything like Photoshop or Pixelmator. You can do it right in Word, and this article really goes into how you can do that. So check that out on the Drinking Lunch Facebook page. So check that out and like it. More news for us. We have another brand new client. This one came from out on Facebook. Northern Michigan Sports Medicine Clinic, which is located in Petoskey. So we'll be going up there in early January. They're celebrating 30 years, and they wanted to put together a story of who they are and what they do and how they set themselves apart. So they found the right storytelling place, I'll tell you that. So be on the lookout for that come springtime. So what's happening this week? There are several events. I mean, this is still a basic work week. So there's a lot of holiday parties and such. So let's run through them for a little bit. Tonight, I know this is last second, but tonight, the Saginaw Oakland Commercial Association, which I'm a president, is hosting a Pointe West celebration and holiday soiree at Harry's Place on the west side, right on Verlinden. So that's from 5 to 7 p.m. We are celebrating the fact that we were able to get the Prosperity statue up and working towards the next phase in the adventure of that statue and the landscaping and and connecting it to the greater Lansing area in several different ways. So check that out. 5 to 7, $10 admission. Hope to see you there. Wednesday, professionally fun networking event, which is hosted by my friend Chaz Carrillo. That'll be at Henry's Place. See, there's a Harry's Place on the west side of Lansing, and then Henry's Place is in Okemos in the Target Plaza, and that's from 5:30 to 7:30 on Wednesday evening. That's free admission. Now remember, when you go into Henry's Place, don't leave right away. There is a back part to the spot. It's behind the bar, so go down the hallway past the bathrooms into that back spot, and you will find it. So I hope to see you there as well. And Thursday is jam-packed full of stuff, starting with, of course, the December edition of the Drinking Lunch held at the Lansing Brewing Company from 2 to 4. Fahrenheit Massage has some giveaways that month or this week. So please come by, have a drink before the weekend begins. Stop by and see us at the Lansing Brewing Company from 2 to 4. And finally, after that, from 5 to 7 is the Rio Town Rundown for this month, and that will be at the Rio Town Pub. Like I said, you can go from drinking lunch, get something to eat really quick, and then head on over to the Rio Town Pub in Rio Town, and you'll find me at both places. So hope to see you there. Drinking lunch is free to come in. Same with the Rio Town Rundown. That is also free to come in. Just show up, have a drink, network, or talk with some new friends. But hope to see you there. So let's take a look at what happened in the news last week. Apple Final Cut Pro, which is an editing software platform that we use here at UnoDeuce, they just released their 10.4 version. And so Larry Jordan broke it down a little bit and talked about some of the new features it has. It has some new features for HDR and 360 videos, and support for the new video codec that will be coming down the pipeline soon. So check that article out. See what the Final Cut Pro, for all my editor friends out there, it's got some interesting updates. So the next one caught my eye about this 6-year-old. He made $11 million in 1 year reviewing toys on YouTube. I think this is a brilliant move by his parents. The kid is a little engaging, and hey, you really can't fault what's going on here. But $11 million in one year. That's amazing. Millions upon millions of downloads. The kid is pretty popular. He's very, like I said, he's very engaging on camera, and they got a good setup there. So check out that article. It's in the Washington Post. I thought it was really cool. Maybe great for some toy companies, not so great for others, but great for this little kid. He's got a career ahead of him already. In fact, he could probably retire at age 7, and that's okay. Well done. So, and lastly, net neutrality. I know that I've been on this a bit, and I think it's important. It's important to think about it. It's important to take consideration of. And here's a really cool video, really breaking down all the aspects of what net neutrality is, what it provides, and what it has been able to do in the midst of what was regulated, and what taking away these regulations will give opportunities to the internet service providers as is. So please check that out. And it's just a short video. It's just over 2 minutes, but it really graphically explains net neutrality well. So there you go. And that may be my last thing on net neutrality. I don't know. It all depends on, it all depends on what's going forward, what Congress decides. And finally, my favorite part of the week is the question of the week. So this comes from Julie of M Connections, and she asks, are there any video platforms that can host video privately other than YouTube? There are. However, they are not free solutions. That's the big caveat to this. They are not free solutions, but there are other solutions. However, if these are privately held videos for your clients, it may behoove you to pay into some of these things just to get that added level of privacy. Not piracy. I almost slipped there, and a couple of options that you can look into. A couple of options that I'm very familiar with are Vimeo Pro, and in fact Vimeo, and I say Pro because nowadays it's gone to an almost completely paid platform. Vimeo's went through a lot of changes, and I thought that they were going to die off at some point, but no, they've made some really interesting moves, good business moves, and I think that they're going to be around because they have the infrastructure in place. So that is something to look at. They got several tiered programs to look at for that. And also Wistia. Wistia is another great platform that has a social component built into it as well. And they've been around for a while and are in use by a couple of our clients. Most notably, Too Cool T-Shirt Quilts uses Wistia quite a bit for what they do. So those are a couple of different options. Once again, if you have any questions, please drop me a line and I'll answer them right here. And so there you have it. Next week there will be no live show. I'll try to do one the following week, going into the new year. But unfortunately, next week is a pretty busy time, so I will not be able to do a live show. I'll do a recap of what was missed. However, so this is my sign off for the holidays until after January 1st. And I hope you have a happy, safe holiday. Go to many events. I hope to see you at some this week. I don't know about next week. Next week is pretty sparse, as that's pretty much the time when most folks take off. However, we're not stopping here. And if you know of an organization or a small business that is looking to tell their story visually, creatively, and accurately, then you know what to do. You better call Paul. Have a great holiday, everybody, and see you next time.